Quantic is not only Arai's newest helmet, but it's also, as far as I can tell, the first helmet on the market that meets the new ECE 2206 standard. This is quite a big deal, as the testing for the new standard is much more rigorous than the previous one. I've been lucky enough to have access to a sample helmet to bring you this review, and I've been wearing it as much as I can over the last week or so. I'll take you through the tech specs of the helmet, touching on some of the new requirements for an ECE 2206 pass, and of course let you know what it's like out on the bike. Let's start with the tech and features. The shell is constructed using Arai's PBE CLC material, but with a new, softer, multi-density EPS liner. One thing that separates this liner from the others is that it's a single formed piece as opposed to a different piece for each different density. As far as I know, Arai are the only manufacturer to do this. It's difficult and expensive to do, but it offers the levels of performance the Japanese company demands. The Quantic sits between the Profile V and the RX-7V helmets in the range and is aimed predominantly at sports touring and long distance riders. It's built for comfort with excellent ventilation, so in reality it's going to suit the vast majority of riders. It has some excellent new features, the most obvious one being the new 3D Arai logo duct. This is the first time Arai have put any kind of ventilation hole in the brow of the helmet. It is a critical impact area, and it's because of the enhanced superfibre belted construction that Arai are now happy to put ventilation holes in the brow. Further ventilation is provided by these new teardrop ducts on the top, and they come straight from Arai's Formula 1 helmets. They have two open positions, and like the rest of the parts on the outside of the helmet, are designed to break away in a crash to aid with glancing off. More on that later. There's a new chin vent too, and I particularly like the way this works over the hinged version that is found on the Profile V. Behind this vent is a replaceable filter to stop insects and debris from entering the helmet. A new design of diffuser also features to not only aid stability at high speed, but also help draw warm air out of the helmet. It's switchable between closed, half open and fully open. The shell itself has a 5mm wider and longer opening than before, similar to the Profile V, and it's designed with flatter sides at the base, which makes fitting comms units much easier. And actually, Arai have even incorporated a little pocket in the neck roll here so that you can tuck any excess cabling out of the way nice and safely. That's a really neat touch. And finally, as far as the shell is concerned, the Quantic uses the VAS-V visor. This system is part of Arai's safety considerations as it keeps the mounting mechanism small and low on the side of the helmet. It's a clever and very neat system which makes visor changes very quick and easy. Simply lift the visor, press the release tabs to pop the side covers off, close the visor until the brass buttons reach the red dot, and just lift it away. As you've been able to see, there is a dark tint visor available. In fact, because it's the VAS-V visor, any of that range will fit on this helmet, including the Pro Shade, which I've been using on this Profile V, and I've found it to be a really good system. The interior features the same materials as the Profile V and RX-7V, and is fully removable and therefore adjustable, with different thicknesses being available to tailor the fit. The facial contour system cheek pads are still the most comfortable I've ever tried in a helmet, whilst offering excellent support. Again, there is a tearaway 5mm layer inside which can be removed, and a speaker pocket is incorporated for comms. Before getting out on the road, let's very quickly look at the new ECE 2206 testing. It's a much more stringent test, and it will be interesting to see how other manufacturers cope with the changes as they bring their new helmets to this standard. The standard velocity drop test is still used and is unchanged. However, for 2206 there are now an additional 12 impact test points. Added to this is a high and low velocity impact test using 5 of the original impact points, and a new oblique impact test on 5 of the new 12 impact points. This test is designed to measure peak rotational acceleration, which has always been a key consideration for Arai, hence them staying with a smooth round shell shape throughout their history. Arai, of course, are always trying to build the safest helmet they can, rather than build a helmet to get through a test. In-house testing has always gone beyond what is required for certification, and as such they test with a hemisphere anvil and a pretty nasty looking penetration test as well. I mentioned glancing off earlier, and I actually gave quite an in-depth explanation of that in my Profile V review, so I'll put a link in that in the top corner for you to go and have a look at. But whilst we're here, I'll touch on it again very briefly. Arai recognise that any helmet can only absorb so much energy, and in fact the forces encountered in real life crashes are much higher than those simulated in ECE testing. So, to mitigate these forces as much as possible, the helmets are built round and smooth to help them glance off objects and slide, thus dissipating the impact force as much as possible. This is why the helmets have retained the distinctive shape and will continue to do so. Okay, the tech stuff is all very well and good, but what's the Quantic actually like when you're out riding? Well, I have to say it's good. In fact, very good. I've always struggled with Arai helmets a little bit, as although I can get a really good fit around my head, I felt they always sat a little bit too close to my chin. The Profile V with its widened opening was better, but this Quantic is so much better. I'd go as far to say it's the best Arai I've worn. Obviously it's a brand new helmet, so it's reassuringly snug, yet it's still incredibly comfortable. I may need to remove the 5mm peel away pads in the cheeks, but I'm going to leave it a bit longer to see how it settles down. All around vision is excellent from the sizable eyeball, whether you're riding an upright bike or something more sporty. Apart from the helmet shape and comfort, the most striking element is just how much ventilation is available and how controllable it is. The new Chen vent is really easy to use, although in reality on the bike it's easier to go from fully closed to fully open. Finding that middle setting is tricky, but it is possible. The new raised 3D duct vent really makes a difference. When the tab is down, the vent is active and you can feel a nice flow of air through the lining onto your forehead. Pull the tab up and the vent is closed. If you combine the chin, 3D logo, top and eyebrow vents, then the airflow is amazing. A good concentrated flow of air through the helmet with nothing blowing in your face or eyes. I think this helmet will be very good in hot weather, and I'll bring you an update as and when we get some here in the UK. There's also lots of exhaust vents other than under the diffuser. 2 on the shell, 2 on the side of the neck roll, and 1 large panel on the back of the neck roll. The Quantic has proved to be very stable at high speeds, and I can see why this would be a genuinely good helmet for touring or for very long days in the saddle. How noisy a helmet is quite understandably the most asked question in any of my helmet reviews, and as I always say, this is somewhat subjective. Of course, there are inherently noisy helmets out there on the marketplace, but largely for a decent helmet, the noise comes down to 2 things: the fit and the bike that you ride. When I first went out in the Quantic, I was riding the Honda Africa Twin 1100, and my first thoughts were, oh, much more wind noise than I was expecting. I was a little disappointed, if I'm being honest, so I stood up to see what it was like without the screen and bodywork interference. Boom, almost silent, very quiet indeed. I switched to my own KTM 790 Adventure and it was a completely different experience. Smooth, quiet and very comfortable. It was the same on a naked bike. This was interesting as it proved the point that the combination of helmet and bike is important when discussing noise. I went out again on the Africa Twin, this time with the seat in its lowest setting, and the wind noise was significantly lower. That's with just 20mm difference in the seat height. If I was pushed on the question, is this helmet quiet, I would say definitely yes. The level of insulation inside is very good, and also it's just such a comfortable helmet to wear. So the Quantic, it's very protective, it's very comfortable, it's quiet, it's well ventilated, it's quite light, and also it's a good looking helmet, particularly in this snake blue finish from Drudy Performance. But I always like to offer balanced reviews, so there must be some negatives, right? Well, one aspect of Arai helmets is that they don't and are unlikely ever going to offer an internal drop down visor. As a company, they see that as a big safety compromise. They have to either make the shell larger to accommodate the mechanism with the same EPS thickness, or make the EPS thinner to make space. Neither of these options sit well with Arai. Some people will never buy an Arai because of this, and I understand that. Drop-down visors are very useful. But having said that, the Pro Shade system does exactly the same function, and I think it works really well. The other drawback, which isn't a negative of such, is the price. This helmet in the graphic finish retails at £599, and that's £499 if you go for one of the plain finishes. Now that is a lot of money, obviously, but it does raise that age-old question: how much is your head worth? There's no doubt that this is a very safe premium helmet from Arai. So if you've got the budget for it and you've never tried an Arai before, then I would suggest going to your local dealer and giving one of these a try. As a special treat for those of you that have watched this far into the video, I've got a giveaway for you. When the UK distributor sent out these sample helmets, they put an Arai cap in every box, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this away to one of my viewers. The Arai UK website address is whyarai.co.uk. So to win this cap, all you have to do is simply tell me in 10 words or less why Arai. I'll leave this competition to run for a week or so, and then I'll make a short separate little video announcing the winner of this cap. So of course the best way for you to find out if you are a winner is to click that subscribe button and the notification bell, and then when that video is launched you'll be notified and you'll find out if you are the lucky recipient. I hope you've enjoyed and found this look at the new Arai Quantic useful. As I say, it's quite a milestone being the first ECE 2206 helmet to go onto the market, but I'm sure the competition will be coming along soon enough, and I will try as hard as I can to get hold of those other helmets as they come through to review them for you. So as I say, if you want to see more of those reviews, don't forget to subscribe. If you've got any questions about this particular helmet, then drop them in the comment section down below, and all that leaves me to say is, as usual, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.